Hello, YouTube. I am Mary Charisma. I am an artist, I'm a musician, I'm a spiritual seeker, and I am starting a video journal. I have been wanting to do this for a while, and making long form content has been kind of calling to me, and I'm following this impulse, and I kind of feel like it's gonna be this space where I feel like no one's gonna be watching for a while, and I can just share what's up with me and my story as I'm living it in real time. And yeah, so I feel really free. I feel really like I'm just gonna say my truth, and if people find this and it resonates, that's amazing. And if not, this is like a beautiful thing for me to just create and just express this way. I have been finding that in the act of doing, in the act of just speaking and expressing, you get to tap into all of this wisdom that you just can't access like by thinking about it. You have to just live and express in the moment, and through that a lot happens. So that's kind of what this is. This is a container for me to reflect and share and express any wisdom that just wants to come to me in the moment while I'm speaking to this camera. So here we are. But I do, for this video, want to share my story thus far. Who the heck I am and what I'm about and what's been on my mind. So I'm going to start with, I used to be in the tech world. I was a programmer, then a data scientist / data analyst, and I studied physics in college, got out of school, very driven, very like, I want to be successful. I want to be rich, I want to be successful, I think. And yeah, I finally made it to the position of senior data scientist for a really, really cool company that I had just like always been a fan of, and it was like in the fashion industry. So to me, it just like hit all the boxes. But through that experience, of getting like what you think you want, you kind of realize it's like, man, do I really want this? Because it was hard. It was a lot of hard work, and this was an SF, and I think the culture is the same in a lot of places, but it was definitely the vibe there where it's like you live to work, not work to live. And so it was like, it became clear that to like succeed in that role, I needed to put in a lot more time, a lot more energy and focus. And I found myself just being like, feeling so over it. And like in the office, staring out the window and looking at the sunshine and just being like, wish I was just out there. Like, I just, that feeling of there's something more for me. So meanwhile, at this time, I was also in a band as a cellist. I've been playing the cello since I was a kid. And that was like, it's just the funnest thing ever. But then also part of that was like, I think I was jealous of the like lead singer songwriter who it was his band, it was like all his songs, and then me and my other friends, our friends, were all supporting him as musicians. And it is our band because as a musician, you're writing your parts, or at least that's how we did it. It's like you take these songs and then the band makes it like it makes it their own. So I think through that experience, it was really, really fun. And then I also saw like, I was inspired, be like, oh, I want to do that too. Like, I want to sing, I want to songwrite. And so that's really started there for me. And then I did the artist way, which, if you know. If you haven't done this yet and you're a creative, this is your sign. Go do it. It's a 12-week program, essentially. It's by the book, and they'll give you exercises to do and just little questions. And it's not a lot of time each day and each week, but it will lead to such amazing breakthroughs, I promise. So if you heard of this and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should do it, do it. I did that. And it was just all this, pressure at work, joy outside of work doing music. It was like, this is very clearly where I want to go. This like away from what I thought I wanted and more towards being a musician, because I reached that point of like stable, successful career, you know, like making a lot of money and doing that whole thing, and just sort of feeling like that's it, you know, and just imagining if I keep going down that path where I'll be in like 20 years. And it just is like uninspiring, you know, I just the feeling of like I'm meant for more. So then it's like knowing that I moved back to San Diego, where I'm from, and when I was in SF, I was doing a long distance relationship with my boyfriend. He is in LA, so we moved in together in San Diego, and then, you know, I was working part-time as a data analyst, and eventually just like went to fully working on music. And my boyfriend joined me as well, because we met working in tech together, but he's also an artist and musician. So we formed a band and we're doing it together. And because we just had a lot of savings from our cushy tech jobs, we saved a lot, and it was like, okay, let's just go for it and just spend all our time doing this. And I was very disappointed to discover that it really wasn't the time that was like the block. Like I really thought that is like even doing part-time, not full-time tech work, it was like I felt so stressed from the work that it's just like all I wanted to do was like chill and veg, and like, you know, I didn't really work on my music. And then I thought, so it's like, okay, if like I quit entirely and I'm fully working on this is like how I spend my days, then surely I'm just gonna grind really hard. I'm gonna get that success that I want. And yeah, it didn't happen. I still didn't grind. I didn't, you know, I just felt like I should be working harder, and I was never working hard enough. And yeah, like so began this great journey of mine where I just had to expand. I had to expand my consciousness. And so many spiritual things happened at this point, which were totally necessary, because I was bringing the old paradigm energy to this new landscape. Because in a traditional job, in most things, a lot of things, you can just grind and you put the time in and you get these results out. But art is so linked to your emotion and your frequency, I'll just say, when that you gotta get those blocks figured out, you know? And like, even if you sit down to create, if you're like all up in your head and you're just feeling some type of way, like it doesn't feel like it comes out. Like, how do I tap into inspiration? How do I create? It seems to be this like elusive magical thing, and that's not necessarily like hours in equals results out. So I had to figure out a whole new way of living life and being. And that really, began this whole spiritual process for me, you know. I joined like a new religion, essentially, the Self-Realization Fellowship, founded by Yogananda. I live right by a temple, and it's kind of like combining Christianity and the teachings of like the East, of like India, where the idea is that we're all children of God, in the way that's like Jesus is the Son of God. It's like that's all of us, and he just like awakened to that fact. So we're all trying to expand our consciousness, essentially. And so through following that and through meditation, how do I sum up the last few years of all that I've learned? Where I'm at right now is I'm realizing it's about choosing who you want to be. I have done enough meditation to have experienced like myself as divinity, to experience light, to experience like I am love, I am just this beautiful energy, right? But life isn't just about being that, it's about being that embodied in a human. And so we get to decide what kind of human we want to be. And it's like, now you're playing with that. You're like picking your avatar and you're like, how do I want to live? And like, what do I want to do? And what do I want to make? And so for me, it's like that person shows up on YouTube. That person makes videos and makes music. Yeah, so talking about music, I've released 3 singles. That was my big, like, I guess accomplishment last year is, yeah, I released 3 singles, and, you know, I don't think a lot of people heard it. More than no people heard it. And some people heard those songs and, like, told me, they're like, dang, I was moved by that. So that's, like, that's such a huge reward, because, you know, if one person felt like that, like, there's juice there. And also, I, like, love what I make. When I make something and it's, like, I feel moved by it, like, I think that's really what matters. I think there was like a Rick Rubin interview where he talks about that. It's like you're really trying to make it something that you are about, that you're into. So I'm still like working on music. Right now I am working on an EP, and because, you know, it was cool to release the singles, but I'm like, now I want to like have a cute collection. I think that feels like a next goal for me. And it's going well. I've been in a good spot creatively because I think the spiritual foundation, where it's like I wake up and the first thing I want to do is like remember who I am, remember that I am divinity, I am a spiritual being, and I am here on this earth playing, you know, like feel that. It's like an expansion. It's like the world is all open, okay? Nothing's been decided. The whole day is new and unknown, and let's play in that unknown. Because I know the old way of feeling, where you wake up and it's like it's the same thing, or you're like, I don't know what I want to do. It's like, now I don't know what I want to do is okay. It's like, let's feel that. Let's like create space for that and let the inspiration come. And so when I feel myself expand and tap into, like, I want to say like my highest self, or where I feel like very aligned and I'm just like trying to follow the resonance of like what am I being guided to do, because I know I'm here to make music, but I also feel like I'm here for things beyond that. And the more I'm trying, if I try to say, okay, I would need to achieve these goals with my music and I need to create this and this, it's just like, I think taking all the fun out of the journey, if I'm too like controlling with it. Now, on the other hand, I just want to say though, like when I'm just flowing, what I'm trying to say is that what I feel like I just, on the day to day, what do I want to do? And it's like, it's work on my EP. And that's been really beautiful. But I'm not forcing myself to work at it. It's like, because, you know, that definitely makes sense. It's like, I know I want to make this. I owe it to myself to make this thing that I've wanted to make for a long time. So you gotta show up. And I love that for me. And it is just when I get still and say, what do I want to do? It's like, it has been guiding me. And when I'm there, I've also really let go of expectations of what needs to come out, and needing it to be good, needing it to be anything. It's just, stuff happens. I'm just there and I'm just flowing and I'm just playing and I'm trying this and I'm trying that. And if I feel called to go on YouTube and watch a tutorial, then I do that. And just really no limits, just living. So that's been a really, really, really exciting area for me. The things that are on my mind that I feel very, like I'm just trusting it's all gonna work itself out, but I would say like my ego or like my humanness is thinking about and feels confused and unsure about, is like the brand. Like I have a very clear vision of myself as an artist and like the vibe I want to create, the visual brand of it. And I'm like, how do I actually execute that? I don't feel like I know. And then also, it's like, obviously, you should be everywhere on social media. You should be making videos all the time. You should be like doing hella content. And I don't really necessarily always feel like doing that. And so, like, how does that all fit in? How, like, I really want to make this EP, and unlike everything else I've released, where it's like, you know, the day of, it's like feels like a big deal. Because my friends and family and like a few fans that I have are like, cool, we like it. And then I just like, the next day it feels like it never happened. And wow, just a crazy, crazy mystical van. I'm gonna check that out. I hope I'm capturing this. When you see a van like that, you gotta share it. So, what do I want to say? Well, I feel like I believe in myself now, and I'm I'm no longer questioning my talent and my worthiness and how cool I am. It's like, that's fine. That's, you know, I know that I have a unique light. It's not going to be for everybody, but I think that some people are going to vibe with it. And in fact, that it's going to like matter to some people, that it's going to be important that I make what I'm here to make. And if you're an artist or a creative, one, you should definitely follow me, because I wanted to share my thoughts on creativity and how to get over creative blocks and that kind of thing. That's like what I'm really passionate about. But make a thing that only you can make. Okay? And it's definitely cool to like copy other people's stuff, to like learn and get new techniques and new ideas. But at the end of the day, like, you gotta make the thing that you're the only person who can make that. And that's writing your story. It's sharing the influences that you love. It's combining your love of house music and your love of jazz, right? It's like, I love surf rock, and I also love pop, and yeah, just, you know, you pull these things together. I also come from a classical music background. I feel like that comes out in my production. I'm going through this weird spiritual seeking journey right now, and so I like to write songs about that. I was blessed to have like find the best partner in the world. And so I like writing love songs about how grateful I am to be with this person. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it's what it is to be an artist is to communicate your unique light. You are an expression of pure love, pure light, pure divinity, and combining that with your human experience, the life that you have lived thus far. I've heard the term of alchemy, where the things that we go through we can now use that as things that we can turn into gold. We can turn it into light. It's like the pain that you felt from a breakup becomes an incredible breakup song. I love this idea of the alchemy of the like pain, or the, you know, the human experiences that we have they're just waiting to be turned into more light. Like, everything is light at the end of the day. And we can see that when we experience the light that we are. And so any problem that you have, if you're able to see it with, like, while bringing the light of your presence to it, then you can see what it's trying to tell you. And one thing I've been learning is that the universe wants to reward you and give you all of the beautiful things that you deserve and that it has for you, but it won't do that if you're not choosing yourself. So if you're putting anything else above you, or you're making choices that are hurting yourself, you're making choices that are not honoring what your heart is calling for, you're not going to be rewarded for that. So think about that. Be still. Hear what your heart is calling for. Go ahead and follow that. Real quick, I feel like I want to think about lessons learned this week. Be who you want to be. Step into the frequency of the character that you want to play and just act from that point. You don't have to think anything. You can just simply be and have fun as that version of you. And that's a choice. You can just simply choose that's what's happening. Choose that you're worthy of being all that you want to be, and that nothing has to come before that. You be it, and then everything stems from there. Nothing has to be accomplished. You don't have to do anything to then be that person. It's like, be that person, and then act in the way that feels most natural while you're embodying that frequency. Yeah, just following what's fun. That I feel like has been the biggest lesson. And that it's consistency. That's where I'm at right now, I think, in my spiritual journey. It's like I'll have moments of like hearing the call and then be like, oh, I'm kind of wanting to do that. Then go ahead and do it and just follow through. And then it's like, dang, that was awesome. Songwriting's a big one like that. Like I had this great moment where I watched Shakespeare in Love. Oh my God, that's the lesson of the week, is Shakespeare in Love is a great movie. I've never seen it. I think it won, I was telling my mom about this. She's like, yeah, it won Oscars. So it's not like no one recognized that when it came out, but it's just like, I think it was made in the late 90s. So, you kind of assume that it's gonna be like sexist, but it's actually quite feminist. And it was just like really refreshing to see a love story where you can understand why these people would be in love. It's not just they see each other and they're like, I'm instantly in love with them. They're so attractive, there's like chemistry and that makes sense. But I love that you have Shakespeare and you have Violet, and Violet, dresses like a dude so she can go act and try out for one of Shakespeare's play, and he doesn't recognize her. And so casts her because she's an amazing actress, and like they're both passionate about theater and poetry, and she's this incredible actress, and he's obviously an incredible writer. And so it's beautiful because they get to appreciate each other's light and talent, and them stepping into their own. So you see growth from both characters, and then there's also like Judi Dench as Queen Elizabeth is just phenomenal, and it's also like sees Violet and helps her out, and she's like, I know what it's like to be a woman in a man's field, and I don't know. Anyway, I didn't know I would go on a Shakespeare in Love is a great movie, a deeply feminist movie tangent, but that's, go see it. Go watch it. It's worth it. It's actually really good. What even was I talking? Oh yeah, okay, after watching that. The other reason I loved it is because I think it really honored the craft of writing, and like it spoke to my experience as a writer, where you're living your life and the details from it become the fodder for your writing. You put these lines in there that's just like, I don't know, like for example, I wrote a love song called Forever. It was my last single I released, and there's the second verse is like, going to the grocery store and you're getting in a fight about what to buy, and then you're like pouting in the drive home, but then you look at each other and you're just like, forget it, because it's so dumb, and you just feel that love makes you just be like, damn it, I just love you, I can't be mad at you, and so it's like, yeah, that happened. Like, I think it's like I wanted to get a large milk and he wanted to get a smaller size of milk. You know, just like that's part of being in a couple, a long-term relationship, is you have like such petty fights, but then you like this beautiful moment when you like let it go because it's so dumb and like you, it's like, oh wait, I don't like, I, I can't be mad at you. Just the way you look at me makes me just fall in love all over again and forget anything like that. So watching that Shakespeare in Love made me want to go just like, oh, writing, that sounds cool. And so my form of writing is mostly songwriting and stuff. And just, it was such a great, it was one of those like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to say, just on the guitar, chord progression came out, a nice melody came out, a vibe, some ideas, like what the song is about, which I'll just, little spoilers, the idea of, actually kind of what I was talking about in this video, the alchemy of like, yeah, I've been through some hard things, but I wouldn't trade that for anything. Like, it had to be that way. And I see the beauty in the pain that I experienced because it got me to this place where I now feel very at peace. So if you hear a song by me that comes out and it has that theme in it, you'll know. So those are some things. And yeah, this week I think I'm just continuing to write and record more music, but I also want to capture it more. That's something on my mind, is like things like this, but maybe having this while I'm producing or while I'm, you know, recording my vocals or something, or maybe sharing what I've learned. I don't know. It's like this whole new world of making content besides being an artist and a musician, but like I want to share myself more. So I don't know what it looks like. I haven't figured it out. And I know right now where I'm at is like, we're not trying to figure things out. Okay? I'm making this video right now because it just felt fun, just what I wanted to do, okay? And it's like, yes, in the past I've been like, I think I want to like film long form content, but it's not part of this whole like plan, you know, like I need to film long form content so that blah, blah, blah. And I need to have this and this and this, and I need to check all these boxes to do the musician thing, you know? It's just sort of like what feels right now. And that's this right now. So I'm trusting that it's just gonna happen. We're just gonna figure it out as we just live. And I'm just the version of me who's likes making videos, likes hanging out and expressing in this way. One last thing is on my mind is like money. Is like, I'd like more money. And again, it's like, I don't know what that looks like. And I've encountered a lot of like things online of like starting like a print on demand thing, which I actually did start that. I did. And now it's the question of like, oh, I'm doing hats, like embroidered caps, and I think they're pretty cool. And it's like, do I make that just part of my brand? I'm like, you know, musician / cap seller. I don't know. Or is it this whole separate secret thing where it's just like this company exists and I don't know. So is that even like worth my time? Is that what I want to spend time doing? I don't know. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is I see examples of people being like, easy side hustle, easy like passive income online. And I'm like, okay, so people are doing stuff where they're making money and maybe it's not taking all their time. You know, but not quite feeling the like, I don't know, not seeing the steps that I want to take to make that happen for me, or if that's meant for me. So those are just things, I guess, the mysteries. I mean, my plan is to do this every week, every Sunday, I think would be really nice. You know, because that's a great day for journaling. And then we can see if any of these questions are now answered next week. So yeah, if you like this video, I mean, if you've made it this long, man, thank you. First of all, thank you. We're probably homies. You should follow me. And, you know, if you have a channel and you make content, I'll follow you back. Like, because, yeah, we're probably simpatico. If you listen to me just talk this long and it just feels right, you know, there's something there. So yeah, until next time, this has been Mary Charisma, and I hope you enjoyed my story. Okay, bye.